Okay, guys, we're going to start our new unit on body systems, and this is Unit 7, Lesson 1, which is kind of just a brief overview of all of the different body systems. So we'll go through them and kind of take a look at what we have and what each of them do. I'm just going to go through your book pages here and hit the highlights. I emailed you those through your student emails. Basically, going back to Unit 3, we said cells make up tissues, tissues make up organs, organs make up organ systems. So you have many different organ systems within your body, and funny enough, in some form or fashion, each one of those systems is dependent upon another group of organs so that your body can function on a daily basis and maintain homeostasis on a systemic level. That's another word that we talked about all the way back to Unit 3. So any group of organs that works together creates a body system. The ones that we're going to cover are the muscular system, skeletal system, the respiratory system, and cardiovascular system. I had several of you ask why I did not send highlights for the reproductive systems, which is Lesson 6. And typically we cover those in our sex ed unit, which if we make it back to school, we'll go over that. If not, feel free to go over those lessons, particularly now while you're at home. Many parents would prefer for them to go over that with you than us here at school, so now is a perfect time for y'all to go over those systems. We'll also kind of include a little bit of the lymphatic system and endocrine system and the integumentary system. Those aren't large-scale systems, but they all play a very important part in your overall health and how your other systems function. We'll also address the excretory system, digestive system, and nervous system throughout the entire unit. So going all the way back again to that Unit 3, we said that the shape and size of cells are related to their specific function. Again, cells that make up these systems are designed to do very specific jobs. Here you have a layer, kind of a cross-section of a layer of skin. This is actually part of the integumentary system. Your skin is your largest organ in your body, or on your body. The skin is considered an organ because it is made up of several different kinds of cells, which cells make up tissues, tissues make up, you got it, organs. Moving over to page 425, each system has its own responsibility, but like I said earlier, they can't do it alone. Your circulatory system is of no use if it's not receiving oxygen from your respiratory system. So they're very dependent upon one another. If any one of these systems gets out of whack, it totally throws everything else out of balance, and we're off of that homeostasis again. That's when you start feeling bad. You know something's going on or not functioning properly, and it's kind of a domino effect. Something as simple as your endocrine system being out of whack is going to affect several different other systems. So just make sure that you understand that your body systems have to work together. If we were to look, and that's why I sent out the diagram packet, each one of these systems are made up of their own organs. Sometimes an organ will function for more than one system, but it's typically assigned to a very specific system. So how do these body systems communicate? There's basically two different ways: electrical messages that are under the umbrella of the nervous system, and chemical messages which fall under the endocrine system. So again, if you take away these two systems, then your body has no way to communicate within itself. Going over to page 426, basically we said, again going back to unit 3 with cells, cells need certain conditions to work. They need food to receive their energy, and they need oxygen. They also need to make sure and offload their waste, because if the waste isn't offloaded, it can create a whole host of other problems, kind of like you not being able to get rid of your own waste products. If you never were able to rid your body of your waste products, carbon dioxide is a waste product. If you couldn't get rid of the carbon dioxide within your body and take in fresh oxygen, you wouldn't be able to function. If you weren't able to offload your digested food, yep, we'd have a problem. If you weren't able to offload all of the liquids, and we'll find out with the excretory system, your urine in the excretory system is basically just stuff that it makes it your body able to offload the waste, and the urine is a way to offload it. But we'll get more into that with the excretory system. Here we see our famous vocab word, homeostasis, and we're just maintaining a balance between internal environment and changes to external conditions. Same way when we talked about the cells and homeostasis all the way back to unit 3. So your body has different ways to respond to these changes, and hopefully it's able to maintain that proper balance. You having the sensation that, ooh, it was cool, or oh, it was hot. That is your body recognizing those changes and trying to make those adjustments to maintain that happy balance. If it's during the summer and you're running, we tend to get red in the face. Your body has pushed the blood closer to the surface of the skin in order to try and cool it faster. So that's why you appear to be real red in the face when you tend to be hot. You tend to shiver when you're cold because your body recognizes that you're cold. So by shivering, it tends to release heat, which warms your body up. As your nervous system receives these messages, and you think to myself, ooh, it's cold, so I'm going to put on a sweater, or geez, it's hot, I'm going to take off my cap and my jacket, or take off my cap and my socks and shoes, and I'm going to run around barefooted because it cools you off. These are all ways that your body tries to maintain that balance. So what happens if your body can't maintain this happy medium? If any one of these systems doesn't work properly, other systems can be affected. If your body doesn't offload these toxins, they're going to build up and basically make you sick. Pathogens. Currently, we're talking about COVID-19. That's why I'm doing this lesson for you to watch now. That would be a pathogen into your body that would definitely mess up that balance if you were to contract it. So that's why we're not able to be here at school and for me to teach you this here. If any one of your organs doesn't function properly at any one of these levels of organization, your systems just aren't going to work well together. You're not going to feel well. You may not be able to exercise. You may know people within your family or a neighbor or somebody that just isn't able to get out and walk because they're short of breath or anything like that. Once a certain organ begins to break down or not function properly, again, you're going to get tired of hearing this, but it's going to be a domino effect. Down here, you can see, and if you have time to Google images of in particular organs, just so you really know what they look like, this is what your liver looks like. If some of you eat calf liver, I know some of you don't like it, but when you go to cook it or when mom goes to cook it, it typically has this deep red kind of color. An unhealthy liver, that's what one looks like. You may ask what can cause this. A whole host of different diseases. Someone that may drink a whole lot, unfortunately, cirrhosis of the liver has contributed to a long time consumption of a whole lot of alcohol. If you go to your respiratory system, there's a picture of your lungs. Smoking can harm your lungs. So you want to try and keep each of these organs as healthy as possible. And you do that by keeping good daily habits, good diet, good exercise, etc., etc. I also included the answers for the lesson review in your highlights. If I skipped an answer, these come directly from the graph. So you can kind of take a look at reading a graph. I feel quite confident that y'all have that. So that's kind of lesson 1 in a nutshell. I'm going to try and do one of these for each of the lessons just so you have a little bit of something to go on, and we'll get through the whole unit.